You don't need another deliverance session. You don't need another breakthrough event. And you don't need to get in another prayer line or soaking session or conference to cry at. You need to make a decision. You need to make a decision to crucify your flesh, to obey, a decision to stop circling around the same mountains and finally walk out what you've been called to walk out and apply all the things that you've been taught to apply. Let's talk about it. John chapter 8:11 tells us to go and sin no more. Many people love the power or the sound of deliverance and the different scenes and things that it brings with, and somehow deliverance and deliverance ministry has become this like upper class ministry instead of just realizing it's a responsibility of all believers. But the truth is, many people have turned deliverance into dependency because they don't want to embrace the discipline. This video might be uncomfortable, but the truth is it might also be the breakthrough that some of us are actually looking for. So don't go anywhere. This word might just be for you. Here's what nobody wants to say when it comes to healing. Not everything that we're dealing with is a demon. Now, I know that that's sometimes more said than not, but many times people they don't want to deal with their disobedience. Deliverance is going to cast out some spirits, but discipline's the thing that's going to keep the door shut. And many times people are stuck because they love the feeling of freedom more than the actual fruit that'll come from obedience, or they're waiting for some supernatural push instead of just walking in spirit-led discernment and choices. They've literally confused so many different things with anointings and maturities. Galatians 5 says to walk by the Spirit. You will not gratify the desires of the flesh. Walking requires choice. Let's look at a few different things or scenarios of how Yeshua operated. John chapter 5 verse 8. Pick up your mat and walk. John 8:11. Go and sin no more. Mark 8:26. Don't go back into the village. Every time Yeshua set somebody free, he gave them a directive. Why? Well, because true deliverance isn't just about casting out spirits. It's about reforming our choices, our mindsets, our environments. And the truth is, many may be free in the spirit or free from unclean spirits, but they're still slaves to their flesh. Demons may be gone, but the door is still unlocked and the flesh still has its way. Galatians chapter 5 verse 24 tells us that those who belong to Christ have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. You can't cast out your flesh, and you can't anoint away a lazy routine. You can't fast away inconsistencies, and you can't rebuke a spirit when what you actually need to do is just resist the temptation in your life and refrain your life and choose to walk in holiness. Some people are casting out the same spirit every week, but they're still following the same disciplines and accounts and practices that fuel it. You're still texting people God told you to block. You're still watching things that are reactive to what does, and it's just, there's so many different things where we do not do our due diligence and then wonder why. It's not a deliverance problem, it's a decision problem. Okay, deliverance is the beginning, sure, but Deliverance is not a lifestyle. Dominion is the lifestyle. You know, the modern church in many ways has unknowingly created a culture of emotional dependency. We wanted God to do all of the work while we remain undisciplined and passive. We chase these big, powerful spiritual moments, but we resist personal maturity. And, well, faith without works is dead, guys. God's not going to just override our will to fix the very things that we refuse to confront in our lives, okay? We have to partner with Him. We have to partner with power. We have to walk out the word, and we have to decide our choices, especially to decide to die to self. So let me ask you honestly, are you seeking freedom? Are you truly seeking dominion and to grow? Or are you just avoiding responsibility? Because the next level is not waiting always on another casting this thing out. It's literally just waiting on your consistency. Maybe you're not under attack. Maybe you're under assignment. And it's time to graduate from survival cycles and step into kingdom maturity. Today, I would encourage you to make the decision to walk it out and set real boundaries. Learn to say no to the right things. Submit your soul. Crucify your flesh. Build and tend the altar. And be consistent. And look, man, if this video stirred you, even if it stepped on your toes, don't just like it. Live it out. And drop a fire in the chat and burn it on the altar. And if you want to go deeper in walking out, spiritual maturity and freedom, then hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and share this with somebody else who's ready to maybe stop begging for freedom and just start living in it. Drop the phone. Anyways, guys, I realize that these videos don't have to be so perfect. Those who have ears to hear and need to hear will hear. So I'm going to leave that blooper in there, drop my phone, and just be encouraged, guys. Stay armored up. And we'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Talk to you soon.